Yo, what's going on everybody? It's Tito. Welcome back to the channel. Today we got another team recap video, and I promise this time there'll be weekly recaps to follow this team recap. But we are in the Major League Pokemon Season 22 MLP Analytic Division. Let's fucking go. Hashtag analytic, or hashtag anal. Oh my gosh, I messed up the line. Hashtag anal. Shout out to KHD for letting me help out this season as a mod for our analytic. And yeah, let's get right into the team recap. Enough yapping for me. So as you can see on the screen right here, we got the Salinas Valley Raging Bulls back at it again, hoping to do a lot better than our replacement coach season last season in the MLP. And honestly, we will, based on the team we drafted. Since we were 11th in the draft order, round one, we were not going to get any of the broken stuff, and I was pretty content with that. But to my surprise, Great Tusk, arguably a top 8, maybe back in the day, top 5, like round 1 pick Mon, came to round 11. And even though I was having my eye on Spectrier, Darkrai, mostly Terra Greninja, it got picked right before me by Dawson. I can't even be mad because he asked me what I wanted and I just saw the message late before he picked. So I could have had Terra Greninja, but maybe it's meant to be that Bongo, which will be the nickname of Great Tusk, will lead our team to great success. But yeah, Great Tusk, honestly, pretty self-explanatory guy. He's one of the best spinners in PAL decks since rapid spinners are so scarce. We obviously get great dual stab coverage with Close Combat Headlong Rush. We get Ice Spinner for coverage. We get Knockoff. We get the Supercell Slam for the Corviknight matchup, or we get Temper Flare for the, double power with Headlong into Corviknight, then Temper Flare. You never know. Great Tusk is full of a lot of options. So excited to use this Mon. I've used it once before in a really short league, and I didn't use it to the best of its ability because I was just starting draft then. But I think I can do really well with it, especially because it's one of our Terra Captains. It only costs 2 points, and with the following few picks that we got for our team, I needed to budget. So Terra Captains couldn't be super expensive Terra Captains this time around. Anyways, if you watch the FBL team recap video, I yapped and yapped and yapped about how I love to draft a fast guy for my first pick. And while Great Tusk is not the fastest guy, or fast guy in general with 87 base speed, I knew I needed to get that round 2. And after 10 picks, I was considering Roaring Moon, Deoxys. I wanted Iron Bundle, and I was hoping somehow Spectre or Darkrai would somehow end up into my hands with Great Tusk. They obviously were not going to, but if they would have, I would have got one of those guys. But we ended up going Roaring Moon next. It gives us a good dark type. It's not the most defensive dark type on the physical side, but on the special defensive side, honestly, it has decent bulk on, and it's good for setting up in front of a. Oops, sorry, did not mean to hit the mic there. It gives us an opportunity with this kind of natural bulk it has to set up in front of a special attacker who doesn't have a super effective move on us. And like Great Tusk, you can run booster energy sets. You can run loaded dice for skill shot sets if their fairy type isn't real or they don't have one. And Roaring Moon, it does Roaring Moon things like what he used to do in OU. You run knockoff, you run acrobatics for the booster energy sets, you run Dragon Dance. I think it's really cool that Roaring Moon gets Roost for maybe a bulkier setup set. It gets things like U-Turn. You get your signature move, Jaw Lock, which I really want to try and build with and set up a sweep with that. I think that would be super sick. But yeah, Roaring Moon, pretty self-explanatory. Gets utility moves like Taunt. It gets U-Turn, which is great for Bandit and Choice Scarf sets. It gives us a pivoting option, which is good. Good to get in Great Tusk and other offensive threats that our team will have. So right off the bat, these first 2 picks I could not be happier with. I think Great Tusk was super value when I picked it, and Roaring Moon was just a good round 2 pick for our team. Even though its speed stat is only at 119, and I prefer to have my fastest Mon on the team above 120, it'll do for now, especially because somehow, some way, in 16-man PAL decks, and I guess in analytics defense, we are the lowest div, and this mon might seem a little fraudulent at times, but we somehow got Deoxys round 3, pick 11. Deoxys Speed is joining the Salinas Valley Raging Bulls, and I could not be more excited to use this mon. It's been a mon on my bucket list to use, especially after Cardinals used it in the FBL last season. He made a lot of fun sets, and while maybe I won't have as fun of sets as he does, but just based off already building my week 1 match, it's super cool to build with. I enjoy this mon a lot. So you get things like Psycho Boost, obviously it's signature move, which is super cool. You get coverage moves like Superpower, you get Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Energy Ball. The only like special coverage move you're missing is Flamethrower, but who needs Flamethrower, you know? The great thing about Deoxys Speed 2 is it gives us a spike user, it gives us another stealth rocker, so Tusk isn't locked into running rocks all the time. Yeah, it gives us another knockoff user, not that we needed it, but it gives us some status options with Thunder Wave. Trick can be good to shut down a really defensive mon. So yeah, I mean, Deoxys is just super cool piece to have on the team. And while I used almost 50 points with these first 3 mons, there's so much role compression and versatility within the 3 of these guys that I can't even complain about it. And you know, I wanted Jirachi this 3rd round, but when I was getting help from Manu and like explaining like what I wanted to draft or what I should get, we both were like, if Deoxys Speed is there, we have to get Deoxys Speed. So Deoxys Speed is a no-brainer, even though Jirachi would have fit pretty well on the team with its pivoting, rocks, and being a good steel type for fairy type since Roaring Moon's quad weak. But we fixed that problem with our next pick, as Metagross is our steel psychic type over Jirachi. And I did still want Jirachi, but Jirachi got picked right before, or like 2 or 3 picks before us in the 4th round, and which is a bummer, but Metagross I think is just as good, maybe a little better. I like that it has priority options with Bullet Punch. It gets rocks, of course, which gives us another rocker, which you can never complain about. It's a great Assault Vest user mon, especially with this like pretty decent bulk. Like it's not 100 here like Jirachi is, but we have super good defense, which takes some pressure off of Great Tusk removing the defensive wall all the time. It gives us another attacker above 130, which I think is awesome, just to have all that power. Like you don't have to max out the attack with Metagross all the time, especially on bulkier variants. So I think that's pretty. Metagross is going to do just fine on the team. It gets things like Earthquake, Knockoff, you know, same old Metagross stuff. Maybe I'll run a Meteor Beam set to show some heat. I actually do want it. Like, other than like Agility Weakness Policy, I want to try something with Meteor Beam. I think that would be sick. Other than that, it gets screens, you know, maybe Deoxys wants to be the sweeper a week and we set up screens with Metagross. So, who knows, but super excited to use Metagross. I've used it before in a smaller league, and I really like it. It's a fun mon to build with. I really do just like that it has Bullet Punch. It's great for like the Iron Valiant matchup, in my opinion. But next, since we used a lot of points, I knew we needed to get a decently priced Terra Captain. It couldn't be anything above 15 points in reality. So we went with mon we drafted previously, and Sinistcha, where we're returning to the squad. It's always going to be running Heat Proof, and you can expect this set to come, I'm going to say 70% of the time, especially because it's our, I would say, quote-unquote, premier Terra Captain this time around. Unlike in the FBL, we had an expensive Terra Captain in Terra Urshifu single, and I felt so bottlenecked all the time trying to build with that team and making Urshifu work. And it could have worked, and it did work sometimes, but I think that the team didn't really make that shine for Urshifu and Sinistcha as well as a Terra Captain. And this time around, Sinistcha is not going to be our emergency Terra button. You know, like we have a matchup where, Urshifu looks great here, you know, I have to Terra it. Oh, but Palafin's getting out of control, I got to Terra Water my Sinistcha. No, we do not have to do that with the team this time around, because Great Tusk is fine with not Terraing, ever. And Sinistcha also is great without Terrain, but it can set up and sweep some weeks with the Terra option. So can't complain about Sinistcha. I really like the Mon in general. I actually like Matcha a lot. So super excited to have Sinistcha. Another great defensive piece, arguably maybe the best spin blocker in PAL decks at the moment. So excited to use this guy again, and hopefully I'll use it a little better than I did in the FBL. So next, we have a bit of a speed gap problem. From Roaring Moon to Great Tusk, we have nothing to fill that void from 87 to 119. So I think it's so important, and just like everyone else has said, that to get a 110 base speed Mon, because 110 is like the new 100 base speed like area that you want to draft. So 1, I needed a grounded poison. 2, I needed another Mon to maybe take a fairy hit or 2, and Iron Moth somehow went undrafted, and it fits perfectly. Like, this top 6 alone is just super cool to have, and I could bring this top 6 maybe 80% of the time and be alright, especially with a Terra Captain as good as Sinistcha and a Terra Captain as good as Great Tusk, honestly, even though it only costs 2 extra points. Iron Moth doesn't help us with our budgeting problem that we were trying to do, but it was the best thing for our team because we needed a special breaker that would allow Deoxys to clean up late game, or even Sinistcha to get one Calm Mind up and 1-hit KO everything if they're chipped. And Iron Moth is just that. This is a lot of Paradox Mons, and I've never drafted this many Paradox Mons, so I'm excited to use this. Like booster spam, or even like just Paradox spam in general. But I like Iron Moth just alone for its special attacking power, but it also gets really cool utility options like Toxic Spikes. You never know, maybe I run a Morning Sun like bulkier Toxic spam, kind of set. You never know. I think it's draft. You can do whatever you want, and it gets a pivoting option like U-turn. Spoiler for week 1, we use one of these utility options I already mentioned to great success, and it literally helps us secure a dub. So I don't know, I really like Iron Moth just as a Mon in general. I can't really complain about the guy because it's just so we have a lot of power, and while it's not the most defensive guy, or it's not a Terra Captain on the squad, I think it role compresses a lot of things and fixes our type chart a bit and gives us a lot of power on the special attacking side that we didn't already have. So next, after that ramble about Iron Moth, we needed a water type. And this is literally the same issue I had in the FBL. I needed a water type. And Arachnoid is rejoining the squad. I think sticky webs will definitely be used a lot more than I used them in the FBL. I don't even think I used sticky webs once in the FBL, which is crazy work, especially because I had Sinistcha. But with Mons like Roaring Moon and Great Tusk, I am going to be using sticky webs for sure when the matchup calls for it or it looks really good. So super excited to just use sticky webs a lot more and maybe bring some more offensive Arachnoid sets, since water bubble boosts our water moves by 2 times. So I don't know, I think I need to use Arachnoid a little better, and I think this is my time to redeem myself with Sinistcha and Arachnoid back on the squad. Not much to say about Arachnoid other than it's our special defensive guy. So it gives us another ground resistance, but our team needs either a ground immunity or a better ground resistance than Arachnoid, since Sinistcha is our primary ground resistance, but when we terrestrialize it won't be. So next, we only have 6 points left because Arachnoid costs 6 points, and so we only have 6 points left, and we need to draft at least 2 more Pokemon. So I also need an electric type or a steel type that could resist flying. I mean, I guess I could have got a rock type too, but it didn't look good because we need to deal with our ground type weakness. And while electric types are normally weak to ground, Rotom Fan is double resistant to ground. So Rotom Fan is joining us on the squad this season. I've used this Mon in the past as a Terra Captain and not as a Terra Captain, and it does what Rotoms do. It's kind of locked into running heavy duty boots a lot of the time because of its flying type as its secondary typing. But, it runs Air Slash, it runs Will-O-Wisp, it runs Volt Switch, you run Pain Split to be annoying, and you call it a day. You get screens with this guy too, so maybe he's the screens guy some weeks. It gives us another Thunder Waver. It gives us good status options. And while I'm not the biggest fan of Rotom Fan, it gives us another bulky guy too that our team kind of wanted, especially on the special defensive side, since Metagross won't be able to always support us there. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say I'm excited to use Rotom Fan, but it was definitely a piece on the team that we needed. Next, we only had 2 points, and not gonna lie, there wasn't a lot in the 2-pointers. Like, I trolled Manu about getting Munchlax because it would be the normal type for the Spectre matchup, but let's be real, I would never bring that, and it would just get Will-O-Wisp and then die. So, next, we just picked Carbink. It's our fairy type for the team, and you never know, maybe there's one week where it can just set up hazards for free because the team doesn't have any access to removal, or Sinistcha just walls the fuck out of their Rapid Spinner. So you never know, and I think it also gets screens. Yeah, it does. So you never know, it could bring screens into like a Misty Explosion, and then start setup sweeping with Booster Energy, Roaring Moon, or Iron Moth, or even Great Tusk, you know? So, I don't know, Carbink's not like a glue piece like I would say Sinistcha is a glue piece on the team, but it's definitely just our 2-pointer Mon that we had to draft because we had to draft at least 9 Pokemon. So, with that, that is our squad for the MLP Season 22. Give us a nice visual with the Master Prep Doc. Shout out to whoever made that. I forgot the name of the person that made that, but yeah, this is the squad. Let's see if Bongo can lead the team to a successful victory. But yeah, as you can see, we used 50 points in the first 3 guys. So we had to budget, and despite us getting like probably the top 3 best Mons in the league, I think we drafted a really good squad after that, and I'm so excited to get building with this. Comment Bongo down below if you made it to the end of this video, and to give Great Tusk your energy. And thank you guys so much for watching. There'll actually be weekly recaps to follow this video, other than just an empty team recap video like I did for FBL. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, I guess, and see you guys next time. Bye!